Hello, everyone.
Hello. Welcome, everyone, to our first kickoff to our webinar series, Discover the Power of AI Enhanced Knowledge Management. I'm Rena Shaw, the North America Marketing Manager at livepro, and I'll be your moderator today. Joining me is our solutions consultant, Natalie Maollica, as well as our global customer growth consultant, Chris Duncan. Natalie and Chris, it's great to have you today.
It's great to
Thanks,
be here.
Rena. I'm very excited because as you mentioned, Rena, this is the first in our webinar series. So very excited to show organizations how LivePro can really help achieve their goals, not only in the contact center, but beyond the organization as well. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen and hit that share button. I'm hoping everyone can see it.
Yep.
Perfect. Let's get straight into it. So the first thing that I really wanted to dive into was our search functionality up here. So this is really helpful if you're, a new starter or you've been a tenured agent for many, many years, because LivePro ensures that you get the answer straight away. So jumping in and typing in health insurance policies here and hitting enter. And then you can see that we are actually generating an answer using our AI overview. So what this is actually doing is pulling the answer from the document where it's received the source and presenting it to the agent as an answer. And we do this using the RAG method, which means that LivePro will only search for your information within your AWS instance. So we're not going out to the internet to find answers. We are not sourcing answers from any of our other customers' LivePro instances. It's all locked down to your LivePro system. If we open this up, you can see that we have numbers here. So this is where it's pulled the answer from. So if I click number 1, you can see that it's taken us to a document note with more information there. We also have our copy button, which is super handy if you're in the middle of typing out an email or if you're on live chat, you can quickly copy and paste that over. We have our thumbs up, thumbs down here. So think of that like a feedback mechanism to make sure that the AI overview is being used properly and is accurate, as well as another list down here of our sources. So a long list of where it's pulled that information from as well. Further to just our AI overview, we also have our search results down here as well with our relevance scores. So again, this ensures that agents are getting to the answer quickly. So we're not searching through any more documents in SharePoint, typing in keywords, going to the first result and it's wrong and coming back out. We want to make sure that we always get the answer in the right document straight away.
Nat, it's probably worthwhile touching base on the icons that everyone can see on the left as well.
Great question and great, I guess, call out, Chris. So our icons down here. A key difference between a knowledge-based management and a knowledge management system is that a knowledge management system has easily identifiable different icons for different knowledge objects, which we will dive into a little bit deeper shortly. But just to give you a brief, I guess, rundown, we have our hub, our rocket, our document note, and our work instruction here. So we know that depending on what the call is that's coming through, we know whether we need to go into a rocket, which is our decision-making tool, a document for our short, sharp facts, or if we need to follow some instructions. So jumping into our hub, a hub is like a folder where you group all like information together so that nothing is missed. So if somebody rings up, like you can see here on our LivePro insurance site, we have all our policies grouped together. So if someone rings up and says, Nat, tell me about all the different policies that you have, I just jump into this hub and that's where I can rattle all this information off. So I know for a fact that I'm giving accurate information. Then we jump into our rocket. So they say, Nat, thanks for telling me all your different policies. However, I need help deciding which policy is right for me. So our decision-making tool, the rocket here, this is a really key feature in LivePro because it makes anybody an instant expert. And we have actually seen clients reduce onboarding by a whopping 50% after implementing not only livepro, but especially this Rocket, because as we go through it, all the agent needs to do is read the questions and click on the answer based on what the customer is telling them. So it makes the decision for them. So you can see here, we've got our intro here and then our questions. So what is the cover type required? Couples, family, single. If we click single, you can see this question here. Would you like to add optional extras? No or yes. However, if I was to click couples, we've got another question. So it's different to what the first question was. Are you and your partner below the age of 31? No. Would you like to add any children under 18 years of age to your policy? No. Would you like to add optional extras? Yes. And then based on the information you've given me today, our platinum policy benefits is the right policy for you. So it's taking the guesswork out of making that decision. We don't need to pop anybody on hold to go and get confirmation from our managers. We can actually do that here on the phone.
And as Nat said, look, she jumped in and said that, we can reduce onboarding, and we've seen, multiple percentages. You're ranging from 20 to 50% from clients. And it's not just new agents that love the Rocket. We've got tenured agents that love it as well. And it could even go far as reducing AHT, because you're not having an agent having to guess what policy is the right one for the customer. As you saw, it's step-by-step questions. The agent essentially becomes an instant expert. So yeah, the Rocket's a well-loved feature of livepro.
Very powerful tool. Then we're jumping to our document notes. So you can see our little document note icon here. And our document note are for our short, sharp facts. So long gone are the days of long PDF documents, long Word documents where our agents are trying to read through it and scan through it and trying to find the answer, which can get quite overwhelming, especially when you're on the phone to somebody. What we have here is the information, I guess, divided down into easily digestible chunks. So you can also see here, we love icons at livepro, and this is because it directs the agent's eyes or the user's eyes to where the information is, where they need to go. So if somebody rings up and says, does the platinum policy include optical? I know that I don't need to read this whole thing, but the icon here with the glasses, that's where I'm going to find my answer. So again, back to, what Chris mentioned earlier, not only does the Rocket help with reducing your average handle time, but also your document notes and how they're laid out as well. And also that sense of confidence too, I think, because you're not getting overwhelmed too much with too many words on the page.
It's also a good one to call out if you ever got staff that are moving from different departments or moving from different teams. And perhaps I've come into, livepro insurance, and I'm like, I don't know really a lot about optical or dental. If someone's talking about optical, I'm going to look for the glasses. If someone's talking about dental, I'm going to look for the tooth. So it's just those, they are simple. They're only small in terms of, icons, but they do make a big, a big difference.
Absolutely. That's another good call out, Chris. Well done. So from here, we've given all the information that the customer has asked for, and they say, great, Nat, sign me up. So again, I can actually do this on the phone straight away. There's no putting them on hold, no transferring them to the policies department. I can do that here. So if we click here, create new policy, it takes us straight to what we call is a work instruction. So this is represented by our little hamburger up here on the top left-hand side. And what you'll see today is how each step or each task has been broken down and written so that your agents or your users are not assuming any knowledge or forgetting any steps. So we have our rules here. Then we have some scripting in here, which are popped into accordion. So you can click in to the one based on what the call is about. And then complete determined policy type, which was that Rocket that we just completed. And then advise the customer the best policy for them. And now straight into it by providing the quote. So this is where the magic happens. You can see every task is broken down. So access Salesforce or access the CRM, whatever you use, and a link to that. Navigate to cover type, complete the fields. So we've got the information here that needs to be completed, so you can't miss it. Press enter. So everything down to what you need to press, what you need to select has been written down here. Take note, provide the customer with the details. And then we have our if then table, which is super beneficial if there's different scenarios within that work instruction. So you're not saying, so if yes, scroll down to page 7, or if no, scroll down to page 21, which again can get quite overwhelming. We want to make it as easy and as seamless as possible. So that's where we pop in these if then tables where you just link to where they need to go. So if it's no, we have some instructions here and then end of procedure. However, if they were to say yes, we click add new customer and it takes us where we need to go. So again, access health now, click the customer tab, complete the customer details, which again are popped into our accordion. You can also put screenshots in here as well in these accordions, because as we know, some people are visual learners, so we can definitely put screenshots in here as well to make that easier. And then scrolling all the way down, click save, advise the customer, send emails, and then end of procedure. The reason why we do pop in that end of procedure is because we do want to make it clear to whoever is using these work instructions that there is nowhere else that they need to go. So that is the end. They can end the call. You can even pop in some scripting in there to say, you know, is there anything else I need to help you with today? However you want to end it, but we make it clear that it is the end, so there's no confusion. But I'm really hoping with that agent journey that you've just seen today, that you can see how we can, you know, not only reduce the onboarding time, but also average handle time, as well as that first call resolution, because as you've seen here, it was seamless and I didn't need to pop anybody on hold or say I'm going to call them back at all. It was all done here.
Amazing. So we've gone through the AI search, the document note, the rocket, and the work instruction. There's got to be more, surely.
There is. I got one more trick up my sleeve, Chris. So let's jump in to source documents. So source documents is something that we have only just launched, and it is super exciting because it helps the authors or organizations get to go live in a really quick manner. So jumping back up to our search bar here, I'm going to type in, what is my Medicare? And hit enter. So again, we've got that AI overview searching for the information that I have access to in the system. It is generating the answer, but you would have noticed a little icon here that we haven't touched on yet. So our source documents. So if I was to click number 1 up here, you can see that AI overview has actually generated a response from a PDF. It can also generate responses from Word documents, PowerPoint documents as well, and Excel spreadsheets. So scrolling down, it's quite a long PDF that can, again, if you're on the phone, can get quite overwhelming if you're trying to read through this and find an answer straight away. And the way that this works is that we actually pop this through our large language model, which is Claude. And then in the back end, Claude actually extracts all the words here and saves it in the back end to allow it to become searchable. I'm just going to cancel out of here as well and then jump back in. Sorry, a lot of back and forth. What you can also do is you still have the ability to download this document if you need to. You still have access to your full version history here if there's been updates. And the way that you do update that is you just click this button here and you can either drag and drop it in or browse that as well. And then it will just replace the old document. So really, really important to note that livepro will only search the most current up-to-date document in the system. Further to that as well, if you are uploading these source documents, you can definitely bulk upload them as well. So it's not tedious where you have to do it one by one. You can definitely bulk upload that into the system also.
And I think a good call out, as Nat said, look, it can definitely help you get started with livepro in a matter of days. You know, we can bulk upload all of the knowledge once it's been scoped out, and we know that the PDFs, the Word, the PowerPoint documents that we're putting into livepro is obviously up to date. But also, if you've got an existing livepro customer that wants to bring on a new department that might not have the resources to have, you know, people author knowledge into livepro, source docs is a great shortcut for that.
Exactly. And we also have one other shortcut to help with getting to go live as well, which is our Lightspeed AI functionality. So jumping in, straight up, what I do want to show you is what a document could potentially look before it goes through Lightspeed. Lightspeed helps organizations actually turn documents into a livepro document note. So as an example here, you can see we've got a document here, livepro health insurance, lots of words on the page as well. Again, sorry. Again, very overwhelming if you're on the phone and you need to find the answers straight away. But with our Lightspeed AI, this is what it can look like. So again, this will go through our large language model to what's the word I'm looking for, Chris? To turn it into a
To
document
review.
note? To review.
Yeah, to essentially review, and then it'll transform it into a document note.
That's what I was looking for. Thanks, Chris.
Transformation.
Transform, yes. So you can see here that those headings here, so these little headings here, have been turned into what we call accordions to make it easier to read and to go in and to navigate where we need to go. If we want to go into the back end here, you can see that Lightspeed AI has also generated the title, the summary, and the keywords, and it will pop into the category of your choosing. It will also be put into a draft or a pending review, so it's not actually gone live until somebody has gone in and made those changes or updated it to make sure that it is ready to go.
Yep. And I think if you want to add any icons or add the information to templates, you can see that it just takes essentially a document and gets it to 80%. And then all you've got to do as a knowledge author is essentially go in and make it look a little bit more prettier. So yeah, it's very, very, very simple to use. There's no coding required, which is a big call out. I know myself. Yeah, I may work for a tech company, but technology skills are probably down here. So look, it's great. It's great for your, kind of people that are used to using Word, PowerPoint, and essentially Microsoft Office to author their knowledge articles.
Absolutely. It's so simple. So just jumping into the content tab here, only authorized users have access to this because we don't want to essentially turn it into a Wikipedia page where everyone can go in and make changes. It's locked down to only authorized users. But essentially you can come in here if you need to change the colors of the headings, you've got that in there, or that's the background, I should say. If we need to update that percent to, let's go really high and say 35, it's literally a matter of coming in and making those changes in here. And then from there, we can also use our authoring wand, which again helps our authors cut down that authoring time. So we've got the information in, but how do we summarize it or make it more readable for our agents? What we can do here is copy and paste this, or just copy, sorry, hit our authoring wand. So it's automatically copied that in. And then we've got our prompts. We can summarize, improve readability, or make professional. So I'm going to put in improve readability, I think, and hit go. So again, this is going through our large language model, Claude. And what it will do is make it, there you go, put it in dot points. So it's not a big chunk of text on the page. So really, really helpful if you're an author and you're sitting there and you're thinking, how do I summarize this? How do I rewrite this with the right information? Let our AI tool do that for you. It's just a simple click of a button. And then the cool thing, I think, is that if we just hit replace, it's popped straight in there. So you don't even need to copy and paste it. So reducing those clicks to get that content in. And then from there, we can save it. We can write any notes that we need to. So updated intro, hit confirm, and then that is saved to the newest version here. Further to that as well, so just on versions in our version control, something that our customers really, really love about livepro, especially for auditing purposes, is that everything is saved in livepro. Nothing is ever deleted. So from the versions, the create dates, if there was a start and an end date, so you can actually go in and draft up knowledge and pop in a start date where you want that to actually go live, or on the flip side, put in an end date where it will archive and be no longer available. the different statuses. So is it in a draft? Did it go to legal for review? Has it been published? What status is it in? Any notes and the user that made those changes. Further to that, we have our compare versions. So I'm going to compare the last two versions. So hit continue. And then you should be able to see here. So everything that was in red is what was taken out, whereas everything that's in blue is what was actually popped into the knowledge article. So really, really, really important for auditing purposes. Or if someone rings up and says, well, on this date, you told me this information, you can go in and see, okay, yes, this information was correct as of that particular date.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. I was with an insurance client last week, and yes, their telephony platform will record the conversation, but it's also good as a secondary to have, well, on this date, so, you know, 1st of July, 2023, your representative told me this. Well, we've got the recording and we've also got the knowledge article that they would have been working off at that time. So the information we told you would have been X. So yeah, just that extra kind of governance and that control, and obviously what you can see, I think, yeah, really, really, really important.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of governance, so the last thing that we do want to cover today is our reports and dashboards. So again, only authorized users have access to our reports and dashboards here. But dashboards are really important because it gives management a snapshot of how the system is being used. And we really want to make sure that those that do have licenses are coming in to use the system for, you know, compliance purposes, to ensure they're getting the right information. We really want to make sure that, you know, they're utilizing it. So we've got here our knowledge. So sorry, skipping back, you can choose the different dates here. So in the last 7 days, you can see that there was 67 knowledge views here, 21 searches, but only 1 active user. So if you are supposed to have, you know, 50 active users, but only 25 are jumping in, or only 1 person's jumping in, we really want to understand, okay, why aren't the other users coming in? Do they think that the information's too hard to find? So do we need to train them a little bit more? Why are they not using that info or jumping in? Sorry. Then we have it down to individual usage as well. So full name, username, who their manager is, their roles, and the views and searches. So you can see here that Amy has been the only one to come in the last 7 days with her 67 views and 21. I know, good on you, Amy. You're the real MVP here.
Pay rise for you, Amy.
Exactly. So she's been using the system, and you can see that, you know, our banking author hasn't jumped in, our banking user. So a lot of those other users haven't jumped in. So you can get really granular down to that individual level as well. Jumping over to our knowledge managers dashboard here, where it's got our usage and feedback here. So again, really important. So how many views of knowledge in a particular month over here, as well as that in a pie graph as well. So how like the percentage in each different livepro instance.
Yeah.
Further to that, just jumping into our maintenance dashboard, I believe that the maintenance dashboard is the most important dashboard to ensure that everything is up to date. So knowledge status, so updates in the last 90 days, how many knowledge objects have been updated, how much knowledge is sitting in what particular status. So you can see here that there's 230 document or knowledge objects that are published. You can also see as well that there is 217 in draft. So a full snapshot of that. And then what needs attention? So again, really important. So what hasn't been viewed in more than 6 months? This is really beneficial because you can actually take a look at why hasn't it actually been viewed in more than 6 months. Is the information no longer relevant so we can archive that information, or do we need to tweak it and update it, and that will then allow users to have confidence in it to go and get the answers from those document notes. And then down here, so what hasn't been updated in more than 12 months? So we have different reports to run. We have different ways to make sure that your authors are always notified to go in and review the information. And this is one of them. So you can see here that there's a few, you know, hubs and document notes and a work instruction in there that has not been updated in more than 12 months. And it's really important to make sure that we are always reviewing our knowledge to make sure it is current as well. What you can also do in LivePro is you can send out these dashboards to upper management or to anyone else who needs to see a snapshot of how the system's being used but don't necessarily have a license. So you can get that sent in an CSV file or an Excel spreadsheet, and you can also set that up on a regular basis. So whether it is, you know, weekly, monthly, annually, you can set that up in the back end. And another great feature that we have as well is you can also set up alerts. So for example, if we go back into team usage and we have, you know, different search results here, you can see that someone's searching. Here we go. You can see that there's, you know, create new policy has been searched 10 times. If you want to know, okay, after the 11th search of this particular keyword, I want to be notified, because from there, I maybe want to do more training on this particular topic, or I want to send out a marketing piece on this particular topic because it's now becoming a hot topic. So different alerts that you can set up, as well as that we can also integrate into any BI tool as well. Further to the dashboards, we have our long list of reports here, from our favorites report, our daily login report, no access report, quiz report. So lots of reports in here. And something that our customers really love about LivePro is our support team. So if you need a report that's not currently in here, all you need to do is reach out to our support team, who will build that out for you within 2 business days, free of charge.
We challenge you to find a report that's not in the system already. There's a lot of reports, as you can.
There is a lot of reports. Awesome. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen now and hand it back over to Rena.
Thanks, Nat.
Natalie and Chris, this has been a lot of great information. Just to recap, we've seen LivePro's AI search, decision tools, Lightspeed AI, authoring, and governance all in action, which was very insightful. The reporting feature is my personal fave, but I want to thank everyone, thank all of our attendees for joining us today. If we didn't get to your questions during this session, don't worry. We're gathering them all, and we'll be answering the most common ones in an upcoming blog post on our website. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, feel free to reach out to us directly at marketing@livepro.com or visit livepro.com to connect with our team. They'll be more than happy to set up a custom demo and dive deeper into the platform. Thanks again for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.